We are now in the second week of the Faversham Fringe, which will run until the 26th of October, and the people of Faversham and beyond are fortunate enough to have the chance to see a host of unique shows performed by very talented people. I'm Wendy Otway, and I'm taking advantage of this gathering of talent to catch up with some of them. Today, I'm talking to Niki Mylonas about her
Milo.
presentation on Saturday, the 18th of October at 2:30 in the Guildhall, entitled Jane Austen Remembered. Hi, Niki.
Hello, Wendy.
Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, what inspired you to create this show, and how does it differ from any previous work?
Well, 2025 marks 250 years since Jane Austen's birth. She's one of our greatest novelists in the English literature canon. She is a genius, and I was compelled to draw something up to celebrate this amazing year, this milestone of a year.
Brilliant. So, it's a celebration.
It is a celebration of her life, her works, and her genius.
So, apart from the obvious that it's about Jane Austen and avoiding spoilers, tell me a bit more about the show, about your
Right.
presentation.
Um, it's a biography. It's a chronology of significant events in her life. It's about her loves, her letters, her literature, and her legacy. And this is different, actually. I meant to say it differs from my other works because this is the first presentation that I've drawn up which concentrates on one person, on one icon.
Because normally you're looking at a style of literature, aren't you? And classics, rather
Yes,
than one individual.
yes, this is about this one person, herself, her personal life, and her work and what she's given to us. And she's in 250 years on. We're still reading her books. They're still being made into TV drama. Well, we know all of that. And I mean, there's a huge fan base out there for Jane Austen. So I don't need to say any more than she was just amazing.
So you're going to be presenting in Faversham. Do you think there are any themes or stories within the Jane Austen story that will connect with your Faversham audience?
Absolutely, because Jane spent a lot of time in Kent. And some of her letters were written in Faversham. Where
Really?
yes, as she closes some of her letters, Faversham is at the end. So in some of them, she actually states where she was at the time of writing. But she visited many parts of Kent. She lived in, well, she didn't live there, but she spent time with one of her brothers in Godmersham. So that is the connection with Kent and with Faversham. And Faversham is such a beautiful town. And already the tickets are getting booked up because there are obviously lots of fans of Jane Austen there. And we are trained actresses. We will embody Jane's character and we will be delivering famous quotes from her novels. We'll recite letters. Um, and it's a coming together really with whoever wants to just know more about Jane or just listen about her life and just be entertained really. And the Guildhall is actually, well, it is a Regency building. It was rebuilt in the Regency period in 1814, which was in Jane's lifetime. I mean, the original was older than that, but it was rebuilt while Jane was still alive.
So there's going to be lots of echoes of her life because she actually walked the pavements in
Yeah,
Faversham. And do you
absolutely.
know, is there any proof that any part of any of her books mention Faversham or might be inspired by her time in Faversham?
I think so. Some of them were set in Bath because and a lot of them were then finished in Chawton. But I'm sure Faversham is mentioned somewhere. She does mention places in quite a few of her novels, but her writing is just so detailed. It's impossible to remember everything. And even just drawing up this piece, it just the quotes alone, one sentence holds so much. But the word Faversham, the name Faversham, does appear in her letters.
Right. So you're going to take your audience on a journey of Jane Austen's life. Are there moments that are going to make them laugh, cry, or maybe other emotions that will be drawn from them?
Well, I hope both. The piece is informative, it's educational, it's very funny as well as serious, and it's very moving in parts as well. Jane had the most incredible wit. She was very, very quick-witted. She was very amusing. For want of a better word, actually, she was a little bit of a bitch, but in an amusing, wonderful way, not in a nasty way. So hopefully there will be lots of laughs, and there might be some tears. I know that I myself, as an actor, have been moved to tears with some of the things that she had written, and some of the things that her sister had said about her after her death. It's really very sad, because Cassandra was left alone for many, many years after after Jane's death, and yeah, she was her biggest confidant.
Right.
They were very, very close. They just remained together always, and until Jane died.
Right. So there's going to be maybe a bit of an emotional roller coaster for those people who are already engaged with Jane Austen's life.
Definitely.
Yeah. Brilliant,
Absolutely.
brilliant. So you're an actress or an actor, which is the modern way of saying it. I always think I'd like to be known as an actress because I'd like people to know who I am. But hey, live performance can be exhilarating, nerve-wracking. Have you got a memorable moment you'd like to share in performance?
In performance, well, the most memorable times for me are the times when things don't go quite as they should. But as an actress, you're trained and you are skilled and experienced enough to be able to get out of certain situations without the audience knowing. And obviously on stage, when there are other people on stage too, you help each other out. I remember once on stage, I was knitting. This hasn't nothing to do with Jane Austen, but I was knitting, and my knitting ran away on the stage because as one performer ran from me, my knitting got caught up in his jacket, and off it went along with him. And I just sat there, but just reacted as my character. There was nothing I could do about it, and I had to be without it until quite a few scenes later. But we
But you managed not to laugh, just kept in character.
Oh, I didn't laugh. I was just shocked and mortified and upset that my knitting escaped from my hands. And I think the
Wonderful.
audience loved it. Yeah.
Wonderful. So at the end of the show, what would you like? One thing would you like your audience to take away?
I suppose I want them to have been entertained. This is more than one thing, but knowing more about Jane, and this is a third thing actually, so I'm sorry that I've gone on, but
Not a worry.
the fact that she should always be celebrated. We should be very proud of her. You know, she's ours, and I mean, she's known all over the world. I just hope they have a lovely time. I really do.
Brilliant, brilliant. So, if you're looking for a fringe show with a nod to the classics and an homage to Jane Austen, then get along to Jane Austen Remembered on Saturday the 18th of October at 2:30 in the Guildhall, online at favershamfringe.co.uk/what's-on. This presentation is a celebration of Jane Austen and promises to be an absolute must fringe performance. Thank you, Niki, for talking to Radio Faversham and the people of Faversham today, and good luck with your presentation.
Thank you very, very much, Wendy.